BTS is about to prove the world wrong. The only boy band that kept their promise for years, the word hiatus has sounded like a quiet goodbye in the music industry. When artists disappear, fans are taught not to expect too much. Promises fade, timelines blur, and comebacks quietly turn into memories. So when BTS announced they would step back, the world reacted the same way it always does, with doubt, skepticism, and whispered assumptions that this might be the beginning of the end. But something about BTS's break felt different. From the very beginning, they didn't vanish. They didn't hide behind vague statements or leave fans guessing. Instead, they stood in front of the world and said clearly, calmly, and confidently, "We will be back." Not as fragments, not as memories, but as 7.8 the time. Many people didn't believe them. The global music industry had never seen a boy band at BTS's level take a pause like this, at the absolute peak of their power. Stadiums were sold out. Records were still being broken. Awards were still coming. By every traditional rule, this was the moment to keep going at full speed. And yet, BTS chose something far more dangerous than overworking themselves. They chose trust. Trust in time. Trust in growth. Trust in each other. And most importantly, trust in ARMY. As months passed, headlines shifted. New groups debuted. Trends changed. Algorithms moved on. Critics quietly repeated the same question. Will people still care when they come back? Some claimed the momentum would be gone. Others said the world doesn't wait, even for legends. But while the noise grew louder outside, something powerful was happening in silence. Each member walked his own path, not to escape BTS, but to strengthen it. Solo projects weren't distractions, they were chapters. Military service wasn't a pause. It was a responsibility they faced head-on, without shortcuts or excuses. There were no scandals, no broken words, no sudden changes to the plan they had promised years earlier. And that's when the story began to change. Instead of fading, BTS's presence became heavier. Their past music surged again on charts. Old performances went viral with new audiences. ARMY didn't disappear. They waited. Patiently, proudly, confidently. In a world obsessed with constant content, BTS proved that absence doesn't always weaken impact. Sometimes it sharpens it. Then came the moment no one could ignore. One by one, the timelines aligned exactly as promised. Dates matched. Words spoken years earlier began to echo with frightening accuracy. What once sounded hopeful now sounded prophetic. This wasn't a delayed return. This wasn't a rebranding. This was a plan unfolding exactly as it had been laid out. That realization hit hard, because suddenly, BTS wasn't just a successful group anymore. They became a case study in integrity. In an industry built on over-promising and under-delivering, they did the unthinkable. They kept their word. Every single step reinforced one truth. BTS didn't take a break because they were losing relevance. They took a break because they understood longevity. And now, as the world watches the countdown reach its final chapter, the narrative has completely flipped. The same voices that once doubted now ask a different question. What happens when BTS comes back exactly as seven, stronger, wiser, and more unified than ever? The answer feels almost intimidating. Because this comeback isn't fueled by hype alone. It's fueled by trust earned over time. This is no longer about charts or trophies. It's about legacy. BTS is about to become the first boy band to prove that stepping back doesn't mean stepping away. That growth doesn't require disappearance. That promises made to fans aren't marketing tools, they're commitments. When BTS returns, they won't just be making music again. They'll be redefining what a global group can be. And for ARMY, this moment means more than a reunion. It's validation. Proof that believing wasn't foolish. Proof that loyalty wasn't one-sided. Proof that waiting wasn't wasted. History is full of comebacks. But this one is different because this time, it's not about surprise. It's about fulfillment. BTS is about to prove the world wrong, not by shouting, but by arriving exactly where they said they would be. together, on time, unbroken. If you've stayed until this moment, you're already part of that history. And as the next chapter begins, this is only the beginning of the conversation. If you believe in music with meaning, in artists who keep their word, and in a comeback that will be remembered for decades, stay with us. Subscribe, share your thoughts, and let's witness this moment together.